What's up?
So,
Welcome to this video. If you're new here, subscribe to our channel.
subscribe,
Staley season.
subscribe,
Please subscribe.
subscribe,
You know, we might have to do something for
subscribe,
like a
sub to the
subscriber,
scribe,
you know
scribe
what I'm
to the sub, like a submarine, subscribe,
saying? And if you already subscribe, tell all your friends and family to subscribe.
subscribe.
So,
How you gonna know what's going on
facts.
unless you subscribe?
Word up.
So, 05,
26. We twinning. Why are we twinning for?
05,
Why are we twinning?
26,
What's that about?
526,
What's that about?
526,
Tell them what it's about. They need to know.
526.
What is 526? Tell them.
It's the day I'm gonna marry you. 526. So, if you haven't found out already,
Or figured it out
we're getting married
on 526,
May 26th.
but there's no year, so you don't know a year. You gotta stay tuned for the next video. No, that's what you.
But our channel is Staley season 2019.
But that can mean a lot of other things.
I mean, no.
It can mean a lot.
You're
of
trying
other
it, but it's not working.
Well,
It's not working.
so
526
cool.
is our wedding date.
Congratulations. Woohoo.
So, how did we come up with the 526 wedding date?
That's a good question.
How did we come up with that?
And we're hoping that by us explaining what we did, it helps you out. Because it was a process for us to pick our wedding date. And we know that for you watching out there, if you're getting married or you're thinking about getting married, it's going to be a struggle for you.
It's a process.
It is.
It is.
But we're going to
But it's an exciting process. You have to enjoy the process.
Yes. So we're going to give you 4 quick tips to how we picked our wedding date. And hopefully it'll help you with your wedding date.
Brother made from the 5th floor.
5th floor. Number 1.
Number 1.
You first got to figure out what you want. Now, I mean by what you want, I mean individually and then collectively. So, Karazan, help them understand the process. How did you figure out what you wanted for a date? Like
Well, for me, I always wanted a fall wedding. So, it's kind of contradictory to this spring date we have. But I always wanted a fall wedding. But then I was kind of open to a spring wedding because I didn't want it to be too hot, too cold. I don't really want no snow, you know. I mean, like it's like November and it's like early November and it's snowing. We got a snowstorm. Like, what? You know. So, gotta be mindful of the weather, obviously. So that's kind of how I decided. Fall, spring, summer, nah, too hot. Winter, definitely not. Although I have seen some really nice winter wonderland weddings. What about you, honey?
For me, I didn't really have a date. I didn't have like a season in mind.
You didn't really care.
Look, I just hate the winter. Like, if you know me, you know, like spring, summer, fall are like 1A and 1B. Like, I'm not picky, but winter is like number 85. Like, I can't stand the winter. Like,
I can't stand the winter.
I really can't. Thanks, Missy, for helping me.
Shaking in my boots. I can't stand the winter.
So, yeah, I don't like the winter, so I would not want to get married in the winter. I think when we individually, you know, of course we came together and discussed this, but, you know, I'm like, if we're doing it outside, I prefer the spring or the fall. Like, if our ceremony's gonna be outside, or even the reception's gonna be outside.
And I've always wanted an outside wedding, like a wedding outside. I just always thought those were pretty cool. I don't know. Yeah. It's always just like, oh, hopefully the weather's nice and, you know, not too hot, not too cold, but perfect.
Yeah, but
maybe a little breeze.
Yeah, I think I wanted like either the spring or the fall outside.
Yeah.
Indoors, summer's cool because the weather's nice and you can still take nice pictures outside. I just wanted really nice pictures, and
Oh, yeah.
I didn't want people to be miserable and enjoyable. The don't to that though is I also knew I didn't want a destination wedding. Like that was like out the picture.
Yeah.
So like
I mean, I thought about it briefly.
yeah, I didn't want that. So I knew the date had to be somewhere in between April and like the end of April because we live in New York. So the end of April to about the beginning of November. Like
Right.
those are the ranges I had. I was like, if we're gonna do something, it's got to be in between there. I don't want no, because you don't want to plan nothing in like March and think, because you look at these venues and you can get a discount maybe, because not a lot of weddings.
But then it's gonna be a snowstorm and Aunt Betty can't make it.
Or you don't want to make it. Like you want to be married in your Tim boots. You know what I'm saying?
I rock my
Snow
Tims.
checkers. So
I rock some purple Tims.
yeah, all right.
With a purple dress.
Do it now.
I would.
Okay, facts. We both gonna do that.
Purple
But yeah,
Tim, purple dress, old purple.
nobody want to deal with no snowstorm. So that was the window for me. April there. I also knew I didn't want to do no destination wedding. So that was like out the picture because my pops don't be flying. So it's not gonna work. And he got to be.
Yeah, and my great grandmother, she's got to be there. She's the matriarch. She's the the last of the Mohicans, sort of.
So that's
She's
really
90. I want her there. She ain't flying for nothing.
that's really number one. Just figure out what you want, and then when we came collectively, we were able to discuss that. Like I was able to say, these are the dates I want. She was able to say what she wanted, and then we went there. Also, and I'll throw this in real quick. Also, like I said, express what you want, but also know what you don't want. And one thing also I did say is I didn't want to share any date with anything significant.
Oh yeah.
So I had the window, April to whatever. I said, look, here's some dates to my family that's significant, like my mama's birthday, my parents' wedding anniversary, my brother, not my brother's birthday, his birthday's in November, my birthday, certain things like that, or even stuff in her family.
Like we all, me and my sisters are all born in August.
Yeah.
Well, a good portion of us. So August wedding was definitely out of the picture. Or
Yeah.
I mean, we could do it, but would we want to do it? No,
Yeah,
because it's
right
like
weekend.
either way, every weekend there's a birthday in August,
Yeah.
and even like the first week of September, like it's like that's just like not a good season because it's like your wedding's bound to fall on somebody's birthday. And we don't need nobody trying to feel like they're extra special, try to have their own cake. Nobody got time for that.
And they didn't want to share just because it like when
Ain't nobody got time for that.
we do that. Yeah, and also another thing too was deceased relatives. When we spoke about, I just didn't want to share no date with nobody.
Right.
Like let people have their time. We'll have.
We want to have our own day. We want to have our own
Celebrate
day.
without worrying about thinking about anybody else's.
Exactly.
So that was another caveat too. But we came together, we discussed it, and we picked out a couple of dates.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 was know your bread, like know your money. How much money you're willing to commit.
Budgeting is important.
Now, look, if you got a rich benefactor, a rich relative, somebody, Aunt Gertrude, somebody, I don't know, who got cake, and it don't matter, then you could probably skip point number 2 because it don't matter to you. Because
Uncle Warbucks.
like, if you're paying for it, then you need to think about when you'll have the money to pay for it.
When am I going to have it? Can I afford it?
How
When
much
can
do
I
you
afford
make?
it?
Are you willing to get another job?
And then that also ties into, so can I have a destination wedding or can I have a certain venue? Because if you don't got it, then don't play so.
But also tells you how long you need to get it because you might
Right.
say, yo, I could save this money, but I might need a year.
Right.
You also might say, I could have it and all we need is 6 months, whatever your situation is. But you got to know how much you make it. And you got to be honest with each other.
Right.
Like, I know sometimes people don't feel comfortable sharing their money flow because they're not married. But if you're coming together planning a wedding, you guys need to talk about. I think it's a man thing. Sometimes we feel like we don't want to.
I'm like, let me see your budget. You like, no.
No, just know what I'm putting up.
Like no, I still want to see your budget. I need to see what monthly expenses you have coming out.
I got
because eventually we're gonna be married, so I want to know.
But then eventually you'll get to see everything you need to see.
Yeah, but still,
but as of now,
planning a wedding, I still need to know your budget.
That money's coming out when it's supposed to come out.
So we had a little bit of a, situation with that.
And it's not resolved.
But eventually we kind of like
to a degree. I didn't still show everything because I still feel that way about it.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
we still needed to figure things out. We were able to, come to a consensus. Like, okay, this is what you're working at. This is what I'm working at. Okay, these are things that are coming out.
And that's the thing. Like, you're never gonna see eye to eye on everything. So don't try to say, If I don't see this, or if you don't, no, just find a common ground. Say, look, I don't need to show you everything.
Right.
Just know I'm telling you.
Exactly.
This is how much I'm saving. This is how much is coming out. And I'm gonna try to do my best to get it.
Right.
And then just like.
Right. And nothing you think about, like, you know, the wedding, the dates, the seasons. It's like, you know, you gotta think about people who are coming out of town and stuff, like guests and all that. Like, don't have your wedding like in the wintertime, or it's gonna be a snowstorm, people can't get there, or don't have it during a holiday season, like around Christmas, Thanksgiving. Because 9 out of 10 people are going to be like, yeah, no, I'm not coming, I can't afford it. Or they don't want to be traveling because ticket prices are going to be up the wall. Like, you just got to really be considerate of your guests. And, you know, do you want to play yourself to be able to, you know, put that, you know, task on your guests? Like, really have them go through that to make it to your wedding. Like, be considerate of your guests. Like, that's really, really important.
That's point number 3.
Yeah.
Think about them,
yeah.
please. Like, you got to think. You're inviting people. Like, if it goes back to point number 2. Let's say you got mad money, you can do whatever you want. Not everybody may not be holding cake like you. You know what I'm saying? So you saying, "Oh, we're gonna get married in 2 months." You know, somebody might need vacation time. Somebody
Right. Exactly.
might be flying. But if everyone's local that you're inviting, then that may not matter. You know what I'm saying? Or if everybody's holding on bread and they can get you a nice gift, they don't need time to save up. Then it don't matter. Just like know who you're inviting. Like, you know, which is kind of like point 3A is start coming up with a guest list. And that's one of the things we did kind of instantly was start writing
right,
down
like
who you
who's
want.
coming? Who do we need to consider when we're figuring out our date?
That really helps the date. And if we feel like, you know, we did the numbers, we figured like we had a good number of people who are within like 3 or 4 hours of us, which means most of them will probably be driving.
But some very important people were miles and miles
but
and miles away.
But most people were driving distance, right? So that kind of eliminates, you know.
But the most important people.
But what I'm saying,
in my opinion, on my end of things.
But what I'm saying is, even regardless of that, we already knew that there were certain people who were coming. But then we also knew, like she said, some important people were distant. So we have to consider their situation and give them time to come as well. You know what I'm saying? So you got to balance that. You got to balance both of those things. Like, it can't just be one or the other.
Got people coming from Africa, you know what I'm saying?
Like, it's not international.
The dirty, you know what I'm saying?
International. We international with this be.
International love.
But for real though, it's like you can't just consider that, because we could just look at, like, a pure number would say, oh, like 80% of people are within 4 hours. Or 85% of people come within 4 hours. Okay, but there's certain people that she definitely, like, definites to the wedding. We had people who were definitely coming. We had more definites out of town, and the maybes were more close by, if that makes sense, right? Yeah. So it wouldn't make sense to the people like I wanted who were definitely there, lived in other states. She had people in other states and other countries who were definites. Right. So we had to consider them, because the maybes, you might not be coming. Right. Watch 5 reasons why you might not be coming to the wedding.
Watch
and part 2 coming soon.
The link.
So you can know if you was on the maybe list or the never list or the
maybe list, you know never list. Never land.
All of that. But yeah, that's really important. Like, you got to consider that. So, like, yes, does writing a list affect when you pick a date? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things to consider.
It does. Number 4 is, start thinking about a venue, man. Like, once you know how much money you got and how many people you need, like.
That also, and honestly, the venue has to be available too.
That's why you need to think about the venue. Like,
so you got to go to the venue ASAP, because they're gonna be like, this is book, that book. Like, I mean, it's really difficult to pick a date within a year time span. Like, you better off picking out like a year, almost a year and a half later, because a lot of times it's pretty difficult. Because if you're in that year trying to get married, in that year that you get engaged, or in that year that you're just trying to get married, let's say you were engaged for a couple years. Like, in that year, if you're trying to pick a date and you're already in that year, it's going to be difficult.
Well, it depends on
because they're probably already booked out.
Yeah, it depends. Like, we got, it happened in May, so picking something of the next year, even early in January.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If you're in the year you're trying to get married in already.
But there's actually some place we could have done it, but it's just like, it's a scramble, and you're not certain, like what she's saying is you're not certain you could get it.
Right.
Like, you can still get a date. Like, you get proposed in January, you get a date.
Right.
But just know that it may not be the date you have in mind.
Right.
Because, like she's saying, somebody else might already have that weekend or whatever. And picking a venue will help you figure out the date. Like, because what do? When we picked the venue, we ran by a few dates to see what was available.
Yeah, we asked for several dates. We had to go through almost a whole calendar pretty much.
Yeah.
But, it made it like the winter season. But
and it's a fifth point too. Come with more than one date. Like I know sometimes people had, oh, it's magical. I gotta get married on such and such date. That's
Right.
cool. So then your life is easy. If you have this one magical date, you know, you just go with it, and you're gonna just have to find a venue that can do it. So you know, you might have to sacrifice some things. But for us, that wasn't the biggest factor. Was a date. So we had actually a rank order of a couple dates,
yeah,
which we agonized over, whatever. But we had a couple dates, and we just ran it by the venue, and the person at the venue told us what was available, what wasn't, and we went from there.
I know one thing that you know I kind of considered was the fact that I wanted to choose a holiday weekend, something that I knew people had off at least that Monday or whatever have you, or that Friday. So that was pretty. I think it was a good idea, pretty considerate of the people coming come from out of town, because they probably already had the day off. So
And allow flexibility too, because remember, if you have a holiday weekend, you know, you have Friday as an option, you have Saturday as an option, you have Sunday as an option.
Right.
But you know, also in a weird way, if you have a lot of people driving and the venue can do it, and everybody's local, maybe you can even do the Monday of the holiday weekend.
Right.
You know, like I mean, those are things you really can consider.
Absolutely.
It gives you that option, but for us, we would never do it on a
Right.
Monday. But it was like it allows people to travel.
right,
So they don't have to
Yeah.
say, "Oh, I gotta miss a day of work," you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Which some people
I mean-
might though, but still, the majority of people that were coming, you know, we kind of knew what was up with them in their work situation, and we realized most of them wouldn't,
right.
you know.